The best player in the world right now is Lamine Yamal. Oh, I love this guy, man. Seriously, this player is just like, what a player. I love him. Like, he's playing football in a different way. He's playing football with the maturity of a guy who's 28.
Lamine Yamal is the best player in the world right now.
It's got Lamine Yamal, and Lamine Yamal into the roof.
Este le quiere pegar al arco, vio, buscó el angulazo. ¡Gol!
Lamine!
At just 17 years old, he's already a nightmare for any team trying to stop him.
Il giocatore più difficile che ha affrontato in Champions. Lamine Yamal.
Lamine Yamal.
Yamal.
He has vision, dribbling, shooting, and a football IQ that's completely unreal for his age.
Right? And that aura, or whatever you want to call it, is very difficult to see, and he transmits it because what happens?
He destroyed all of Europe so impressively that Nico Williams literally begged Deco on his knees to sign with Barca just to play alongside Lamine. He even made Thierry Henry ask for his shirt.
Espera, Lamine. Yo voy a venir a ver el Clásico.
Oh, Thierry's saying that he's going to go and watch the Clásico. So in the league, this is?
Yeah, yes, in the league. I'm going to watch the game, yes. ¿Me puedes dar tu camiseta, por favor? Para mi hijo.
Oh, wow. Can you get Lamine's shirt for his son?
Hay que hacer un intercambio. Tú me das la tuya y yo te doy la mía.
Says they have to do a swap.
Vale,
You have to give him yours.
del Barça, por supuesto.
So what exactly makes Lamine Yamal so terrifying?
What do you feel when Lamine Yamal is on the ball? For me, the world stops when Lamine Yamal has the ball. You go, all right. You pause, silence, and you let him cook. And he cooks, and what's a reaction every time? Oh, wow!
Is that what you do, Nigel?
You should have seen him running around. He got off his seat, he walked out. You did. You did.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, you're making fun of me, but we were in the green room. You got up, he went, oh! He's world class. I'm not having none of this, mate. I'm not having none of this. Whoever says he's not working, you make fun of me. That's exactly what you did.
Lamine Yamal isn't just another rising star. At 17, he's already playing on a completely different level. Like a football hero born to change the game, he has that special aura only legends carry. He can carry an entire team on his back, no matter the score, the opponent, or the pressure. He doesn't care if Barca is losing by 1, 2, or even 3 goals. For Lamine, every touch of the ball is a chance to change history.
What I witnessed tonight from Lamine Yamal, you said it already, Micah, it's not normal to be like that at 17. I'm not talking about what he does when he's on the ball, his awareness, how calm he is, the way he sees the game, the way he will defend, put pressure. It's just not normal. We talked about the 100 games that he already has at that age. It's just stupid, really. Like I don't even know what I'm watching, what I'm witnessing, but he played like a man possessed. And when I say a man, he's not even a man yet, technically.
We saw it clearly against Inter Milan, in a night that looked like a disaster for Barca. They were 2 goals down at Montjuic. The crowd was anxious and the players looked lost. But then something happened, something that reminded us of what Barca used to be. Lamine Yamal decided it was time to take over. With his electric talent, fearless attitude, and the confidence of a young Messi, he grabbed the game by the neck. After the match, Hansi Flick admitted that it was Lamine who kept the team alive and gave them hope to turn things around.
You know, he showed us the way. They showed us the way where we have to go. He scored the goal. 2-1 was very important for us. So I'm happy with the team. I'm really they're doing a good job. We have to fight till the end, and we'll do that.
But Lamine was key from start to finish. He carried the entire Barca attack down the right wing. His ball circulation was critical to break through Inter's deep defensive lines. If we look at the numbers, Lamine had a 75% pass accuracy, 46 out of 61 passes completed. Only 15 went astray, but what really matters is how he kept involving himself in Barca's build-up play, helping shift the defence to open spaces. And if that didn't work, he just did it himself. And the opponent noticed it too. Simone Inzaghi, coach of Inter Milan and a man with years of experience facing football giants, was absolutely stunned by the pure display of talent shown by the young Blaugrana.
Potevamo anche vincerla contro una squadra che ha un giocatore difficile da marcare, perché il primo tempo secondo me abbiamo impattato molto bene il match e poi gli ultimi 25 minuti ci ha creato tanti problemi. Yamal, che chiaramente è un talento che nascono ogni 50 anni, dei talenti così non l'avevo mai visto dal vero, l'ho visto L'ho visto stasera per la prima volta e ci ha creato problemi, l'abbiamo raddoppiato, triplicato, poi ci mancavano giocatori da altre parti del campo, poi il secondo tempo abbiamo aggiustato qualcosa e abbiamo tenuto il campo benissimo e chiaramente potevamo anche vincerla, però andiamo avanti, una semifinale qui a Barcellona giocata in questo modo è un motivo di grande orgoglio e come ho detto che Yamal è un fenomeno che nasce ogni 50 anni, vorrei fare anche un plauso.
Inzaghi admitted that even when he ordered a triple marking on Yamal, the youngster remained unstoppable. Every attempt to stop him only increased the threat, turning Inter's defence into a nightmare. As if that weren't enough, with that goal, he also surpassed Mbappe as the youngest goalscorer in a Champions League semi-final, doing it at 17 years and 291 days, beating Mbappe's 18 years and 140 days. In other words, Yamal did it almost a full year earlier than Kylian. Lamine's performance went beyond just turning around a scoreline. It was a statement of intent to the footballing world. The 3-3 draw became an epic individual exhibition, a battle won by sheer faith in his own talent. It was ultimately a crystal clear sign of what's to come in his career, something former players, managers and current stars are already seeing. What he did against Inter was brutal, and although Barca lost 4-3 in the return leg of the semi-final, it was undeniable that the most decisive player in high-pressure moments was Lamine.
Right? And that aura, or whatever you want to call it, is very difficult to see, and he transmits it because, what happens? In the end, he gets the ball and resolves the plays, right? And I think that's fantastic. I think we should all look after him, help him, wait for him when he has bad moments, because he probably will. Because he's still just a kid, a young man, a child, and he has incredible talent ahead of him and a great future.
But what he achieved in the Copa del Rey final against Real Madrid was on another level.
He's 17 years old. It's crazy. The decision making in the big moments, he's making it like it's normal. No pressure. He doesn't see pressure.
There were barely 10 minutes left. Barca was losing 2-1 in a stadium where everything seemed drenched in white. Madrid was already celebrating, and commentators were starting to speak of another merengue miracle. But Lamine was not ready to give in, not that night. He had already delivered a surgical assist to Pedri in the first half, and now, with the clock running out and ghosts of old defeats haunting the dressing room, he lifted his head once more. He found Ferran with a pass that seemed dictated by some invisible genius, measured to the millimetre, so that the shark could escape Courtois and finish in style. That pass wasn't just a technical move, it was a cry of defiance, a message to all of Madrid, as if to say, you haven't won anything yet. Lamine's assist forced extra time, and with Real Madrid mentally broken came the final blow. A thunderous strike from Jules Koundé from outside the box, sharp, violent, sealed the 3-2 and unleashed Barca's euphoria as they lifted the Copa del Rey. But beyond the key moments, what truly stood out was the mentality. Flick's Barca showed they no longer crumbled in the face of adversity. And the most incredible thing is that this new mindset had a face, a name and a youthful voice. Lamine Yamal.
Parlant amb Ronaldo li vaig dir, si ens marquen un gol no passa res, si ens marquen dos no passa res, perquè aquest any no poden amb nosaltres, ho hem demostrat, estem molt contents i visca el Barça.
So this mentality, this way of playing, scoring, assisting and stepping up in big matches, does it mean he's the chosen one to succeed Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo?
It was like watching Messi in his heyday there, you know, at Barcelona, getting the ball, that, you know, the whole game almost stopping to just see what he's going to do.
Is he the chosen one? You've had Ronaldo, you've had Messi.
I tell you what, we've spoke a lot on this show about Messi and Ronaldo getting to a certain age and maybe not being the best players in the world now. And we always felt Mbappe and Haaland would be almost like sort of the next two. But I don't think Haaland's ever going to become that, because he's just an out-and-out goal scorer. Mbappe, of course, yeah. But the way he played tonight, I'm not saying he's better than Mbappe now, but there's more to it. When I'm talking about a little bit like Messi, I don't think Mbappe's ever going to be that.
Lamine with Messi's quality? If we were to judge based on this alone, we could say Lamine has Messi-level quality.
Goes inside again, he'll finally be able to get a curling shot up and score for Barca.
And while the club world began to bow to his talent...
Bueno, para empezar, yo diría que en mi opinión es un fuera de serie. Es un fuera de serie que sale en cada cierto tiempo y que no volvemos a ver a alguien similar. ¿Por qué lo digo? Pues ya no solo por lo que demuestra en el campo, sino por la edad que tiene y lo que lleva, el tiempo que lleva haciendo, ¿no? Con muy poca edad es muy difícil ver a alguien liderar en este sentido, pues tanto el Barça como la selección, ¿no? Entonces estamos ante un fuera de serie.
Lamine Yamal was already writing his own legend with Spain's national team. His Euro campaign was a masterpiece stitched together with records, dribbles and a level of maturity that defied his 17 years of age.
Lamine ya cada día te sorprende Quiero decir que es increíble que un chico con 16 años juegue con esta naturalidad y esta confianza a este nivel, ¿no? Pero también en su club, que al fin y al cabo nosotros lo que estamos agradecidos al rendimiento que tienen sus clubes porque de alguna, bueno, es el rendimiento que nos sirve para valorar y luego hacer ese análisis de su capacidad para poder competir con nosotros.
From his very debut, it was clear this wasn't just a precocious rise, it was a full-blown revolution. First, he became the youngest player to debut in the history of the tournament. Then, the youngest to provide an assist in his debut match at the Euros. And it wasn't just one assist. He dished out 3 in 5 games, one against Croatia, one against Georgia, and another against Germany. That made him the first player under 20 to record 3 assists in a Euro, breaking the previous record held by Michael Laudrup, who did it at 20. He equalled the record for most assists by a Spanish player in a single Euro, joining the likes of Cesc Fabregas, David Silva, and Dani Olmo. But beyond the stats, it was his impact that mattered most. Spain's coach Luis de la Fuente used him as a lethal weapon to break open tight games and shatter defensive lines. And Lamine never failed. In fact, he was the 5th best dribbler of the entire tournament, trailing only behind players like Nico Williams, Musiala, Doku, and Kvaratskhelia.
Have you ever seen anything like that before?
No, I don't think we've ever seen any of us. I think about myself when I was his age.
Yeah, I was doing a paper round at that age.
Yeah, I was kicking a ball, but I was not even dreaming that I would become a professional football player. I was at Real Madrid Academy, but you know, to think that he's doing what he's doing, it's already great. But if you think about his age, it's just incredible. So he's a great player and seems like a great kid. Hopefully he can continue this performance on the pitch, his personality off the pitch, because he brings so much joy.
Spain reached the semi-finals to face a French team that smelled like champions. It was, according to many, the best generation in the world. And in the build-up, Adrien Rabiot added fuel to the fire.
Mais je pense que ce sera à nous de lui mettre la pression surtout, voilà, d'être là, de lui montrer que de ne pas le laisser dans le confort et que pour pouvoir jouer une finale d'Euro, il faudra en faire bien plus que ce qu'il a fait jusqu'à présent.
A direct challenge, no filters. But Lamine didn't answer with words. He answered with gunpowder. He scored a screamer against France, one of those goals you never forget.
Bueno, le he dado la enhorabuena, lo he dicho antes, porque el partido que hace con la edad que tiene es solo unos pocos lo pueden hacer, ¿no? Y sobre todo por el sacrificio. ¿No? La gente se va a quedar evidentemente con el gol que nos ha metido en el partido, evidentemente que hay que tener una calidad enorme para hacer eso en ese momento, pero yo me quedo con el compromiso defensivo que ha tenido, con las ayudas, con cómo ha cerrado, cómo nos ha dado ese oxígeno también, y se lo he dicho personalmente, así que partido impresionante.
He became the youngest player to ever score in a Euro semi-final. He was named man of the match, and later his goal was crowned as the best of the entire tournament.
How good is he?
Lamine.
Oh,
unbelievable. Yeah, he's unbelievable. But he started the Euros with 16. 16, I was in the...
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I was in the academy of Atletico, so imagine.
Getting about to be told you're not physically strong enough.
Exactly, that age. And he was playing a final of the Euros and scoring semi-finals that goal. That is like, I'm going to put my country in the shoulders, you know? It's not like a simple goal.
No.
I'm putting the ball in the corner, in the moment you have to put it. And this is select people, you know? And he is... I'm in charge, he's going in the right way because he's very young, but yeah, he has talent for everything.
Then came the final. England was waiting, with their physical giants, a rock-solid defence, and the hope of finally ending their curse. But even before kick-off, Declan Rice already looked rattled.
I see a stat that he was 12 when COVID hit. So that was pretty scary that he was 12 years old when COVID was around. So it shows how good he is. He's 16. Look, I don't know why, you know, the French players, you know, would talk a player down like that, because what he's done at Barcelona as a 16-year-old, you have to actually just applaud it. You know, me as a football fan as well as a player.
Lamine was set to become the youngest player ever to play in a Euro final. Even Harry Kane congratulated him the day before the showdown in Berlin. And in the match itself, no English player could figure out how to stop a kid who seemed to play without weight, without nerves, without age. Because yes, Lamine stole the spotlight again. He delivered the assist to Nico Williams for Spain's opening goal. Spain won 2-1. And with with that victory, Lamine Yamal became the youngest player in history to win a major title with his national team, surpassing even Pelé, and he tied the assist record with 4 key passes. It wasn't just a win for Spain, it was the coronation of a new symbol, a teenager who, in just a few weeks, went from rising talent to living legend on the international stage. Now, let's ask the question everyone has been whispering. But today we're going to shout it out loud. Is Lamine Yamal actually better than Mbappe? At first glance, it may sound like blasphemy to compare him to one of football's biggest icons, but stop for a second. Lamine is closer to winning his first Ballon d'Or at 18 than Mbappe ever was at 26.
Y ha hecho méritos más que suficientes para ser Balón de Oro, perdón. Vamos, yo no tengo ninguna duda. Viene de ser campeón de Europa, de la Eurocopa de selecciones, finalista de la National League, ha ganado la Liga y la Copa con su club. Tiene un talento que, pues bueno, fantástico. Para mí, no es que sea candidato al Balón de Oro. Yo, si me das la relación de futbolistas, si estuviera él, te diría, para mí es el mejor jugador.
And that, my friends, says a lot. Lamine is already competing for the throne. And yes, Kylian Mbappe isn't exactly thrilled with this storyline. In fact, in a recent interview, he hinted that if it were up to him, the Ballon d'Or should go to Ousmane Dembélé.
Vous pouvez voter, tu voterais pour Ousmane Dembélé?
Oui.
Bah, tu peux nous expliquer pourquoi?
Il y a vraiment besoin d'expliquer? En ce moment, on parle de qui? De Lamine Yamal et de Ousmane Dembélé. Moi, je vais pour Dembélé. Non, parce qu'expliquer, ça veut dire que c'est pas clair. C'est très clair.
And honestly, that's not crazy. Dembélé had a fantastic campaign, 33 goals, 15 assists, and most importantly, the first treble in PSG's history. He was the game changer in that long-awaited Champions League win, even after years of the club chasing it with Mbappe as their figurehead. But here's where the Lamine factor comes into play. At just 17 years old, Lamine Yamal didn't just match that treble. He topped it in narrative, impact, and historical feats. He won La Liga, Copa del Rey, and the Spanish Super Cup. Not with an unstoppable machine, but with a rebuilding Barca side that found its unexpected hero in Lamine. He was the team's top playmaker, their offensive engine, their constant threat. He scored 18 goals and delivered 25 assists in all competitions, not even counting his insane Euro numbers. And let's talk context. While Dembélé thrived at PSG surrounded by stars in a weaker league, Lamine carried the weight of Barcelona's rebuild on his shoulders, alongside Messi's legacy and the eyes of the world. And not only did he not break, he exploded like a supernova. And Mbappe, despite his undeniable talent, his season was overshadowed. No Champions League, no decisive moments. And even though he won the Golden Boot this year, it only underscores what Mbappe really is, a brilliant individualist who plays for personal glory, not collective success. So let's say it clearly, Lamine had a better season than Dembélé, and he was more decisive than Mbappe.
La verdad que impresionante lo que demuestra, lo que está haciendo, lo que hizo, ya fue campeón de
y lo ves ahora que va, como que va creciendo y va siendo un poco más atrevido. Al principio era como que se la tenía que dar a otro, a Lewandowski, por ejemplo.
Sí, normal, tiene 17 años todavía, ¿no? Está en un proceso de crecimiento también y yo creo que va a crecer todavía aún más como jugador y le va a ir agregando cosas a su juego, como inicié yo, él también inició por derecha, quizás en unos años termina jugando de otra manera también, pero no hay duda que tiene unas condiciones bárbaras y que hoy por hoy ya es uno de los mejores del mundo.
If the greatest footballer in history says you're doing things right, then you're definitely on the right path. This is where everything becomes clear. This is where the line is drawn between the good and the chosen ones. Because Lamine Yamal's season with FC Barcelona has been absolutely insane, yes. But beyond the titles, the records, and the stats, there's something that defines him with surgical precision. He has been more decisive than Kylian Mbappe. And this isn't just an opinion, it's a verdict based on facts. There are 4 simple reasons. The 4 official Clásicos between Barca and Madrid played this season. In each of them, Lamine didn't just shine, he humiliated Mbappe. And that humiliation, for anyone who's forgotten, actually started long before, at Euro 2024, when Yamal scored a screamer against Mbappe's France in the semi-finals. But let's break it down one by one. In the first Clásico of the season, Mbappe was completely shut down by Hansi Flick's offside trap. Invisible. Meanwhile, Lamine was a constant nightmare, finishing Barca's 3rd goal with his right foot, showing the calm of a veteran and the hunger of a rising star.
Hopefully he stay healthy. He has a huge future in front of him. Like, the player he is already for them at 17. it's quite scary. It's quite scary. And what he did in the Euros, you have to give kudos to him. Rivals, forget rivals and stuff like this. Truth will always be truth.
In the second Clásico, the Supercopa final, Mbappe struck first with a furious goal to put Madrid ahead 1-0. But Lamine answered like a storm, dribbled past the entire Madrid defence and passed the ball into the net to equalise. What came after was a historic thrashing, 5-2 for Barca, a night still haunting Madrid fans. The third Clásico, the Copa del Rey final, felt like déjà vu. Mbappe tried to lead Madrid with another goal and gave them a 2-1 advantage. But Lamine responded with facts, not words. One assist to Ferran Torres, another to Pedri, and yet another title for Barcelona. The kid once again proved more decisive than the French icon. And then came the fourth Clásico, the most dramatic of them all. Mbappe scored a hat-trick. Yes, 3 goals in Montjuic. And still, it wasn't enough to beat Lamina's Barca, because when the heat was on, Lamine pulled out his magic.
Lamine Yamal with a shot, Lamine Yamal with a goal! There's the celebration! We've seen it so many times this season!
But the series of humiliations didn't stop there. In the Nations League semi-final,
si tú votaras al Balón de Oro, ¿qué votarías?
¿Yo?
¿Al mejor jugador durante el año o al que ha ganado el partido del jueves?
Es que el partido del jueves es un partido gordo.
Pero el premio es al mejor jugador del año.
Es que el año también es el jueves.
Entonces, cada uno... Yo confío en que ganemos el jueves. Pero ganemos o no ganemos, yo votaría al mejor jugador del año. Porque si el jueves no está, nos pasa algo a mí o a Dembélé, entonces a quién votas. A otro que juegue el domingo. Es que, no sé, yo soy de los que vota al mejor jugador del año. Pero si la gente quiere jugarse al jueves, jugamos al jueves.
¿Tú a quién votas?
Al mejor jugador del año.
¿Y quién es?
Pero me guardo para mí.
¿Te da vergüenza decir que para ti, a lo mejor tú eres el mejor jugador del año?
No,
o sea, ¿crees que la gente no está preparada? Esto era lo que le pasaba a Cristiano, ¿sabes? Que lo decía y luego la gente decía, joder, qué tío más chulo y tal. Pero tú a lo mejor piensas que mereces ese trofeo.
No, pero es que al final no pienso en el trofeo, no pienso en si voy a ganar, porque yo creo que te irá mal si piensas en necesito el Balón de Oro, tengo que ganar el Balón de Oro, no, piensas en jugar, en ganar y llegará. Al final, si yo el año que viene gano la Champions y el Mundial, pues llegará. Si este año pasa el día pasa, pues llegará. Entonces yo creo que es disfrutar y que llegue cuando tenga que llegar.
As if their personal rivalry wasn't already boiling, Lamine faced France again. The result? 1 goal and 1 assist from Lamine Yamal. Dembélé missing in action. Mbappe, it was like he didn't even show up. In every scenario, in every direct duel, Lamine Yamal has come out on top. But of course, we must remember, this is football, and in this sport, absolutely anything can happen.
El niño está haciendo las cosas muy bien. Está en un club que le ayuda bastante. Está en una selección que le ayuda bastante también, o sea, está en un ambiente muy propicio a que salga sus calidades que son muy grandes. Pero lo que pido de verdad es que deje el chico crecer tranquilamente, no le hagan tanta presión, porque para el bien del fútbol, para disfrutar muchos años de un talento así, dejarle tranquilo, crecer a su manera, crecer con tranquilidad y disfrutar de ellos muchos años, es lo que espero.
The Nations League final brought controversy. Some accused Lamine of having too much ego. Others criticised his outfit at a press conference, claiming he had disrespected Cristiano Ronaldo.
Pero el domingo te vas a enfrentar a un futbolista que desde que tú naciste hasta hoy lleva marcando goles. ¿Qué te sugiere, qué te dice el hecho de enfrentarte el domingo a Cristiano Ronaldo?
No, obviamente pues todos los jugadores tienen mucho respeto, es una leyenda del fútbol. Yo haré mi trabajo que es ganar y ya está.
But despite the painful loss to Portugal, Cristiano himself came to Lamine's defence, praising his character.
Él va a ganar muchos títulos colectivos, individuales. Tiene 17 años o 18 y repito, es un chico con mucha margen de progresión, es un fenómeno, pero déjenle tranquilo, que yo pido porque tiene una carrera muy larga y seguramente va a ganar Liga de las Naciones muchas veces, por eso tranquilo.
let's not forget, he's about to turn 18 and he's already broken all kinds of records. And the fact that both Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo have spoken about him and sent their best wishes is the clearest sign that he's doing something very, very right. Long before lifting trophies, breaking records, or humiliating Mbappe, Lamine Yamal had already begun to break the mold. His story didn't start with spotlights or magazine covers. It began with a debut that felt like science fiction.
Someone like Lamine Yamal. Yeah. 20 years difference in a change room. Yeah. What is that like when you see a kid like this coming in the dressing room?
First time when I saw him on our training session, he was 15. Really 15. And first time in my life I saw someone, because I saw a lot of young, talented players, but first time in my life I saw that I have inside this, wow, who is it? Even that he was 16 years old, that was still like, come on, it's impossible to be so good, so, so clever also in this age.
He made his first team debut at just 15 years old during the 2022-23 season. And from that moment, everything felt different. There was something in the way he touched the ball, in his body language, in his absurd calm. He didn't look like a debutant, he looked like a veteran reincarnated in a teenager. By the 2023-24 season, just one summer later, his rise became unstoppable. He earned a spot in the starting 11 with a natural ease that shocked everyone. Xavi Hernandez, who knows exactly what it means to wear the Barca shirt from La Masia to European glory, never hesitated to put him in the starting lineup. And not because of media pressure or a tactical whim, he did it because Lamine was the best, period. The Barca fans, demanding, critical, hardened by generations of geniuses, only had to wait 2 matches. In Barca's first home game of the La Liga season, at the Estadio Olympic Luis Companys, a new milestone was witnessed. At just 16 years and 38 days old, Lamine became the youngest starter in a La Liga match in the entire 21st century. And he didn't stop there. Just a week later, at 16 years and 45 days old, he made history again. He became the youngest player in this century to deliver an assist in La Liga. And it wasn't just any assist, it was a melodic, surgical, perfect cross that gently landed on Gavi's head during a wild 4-3 win over Villarreal, a match that felt scripted by destiny. But it wasn't just the assist. Lamine was Barca's most dangerous player. He was the one creating space, breaking lines, taking shots. He was literally the leader of Barca's attack. Record after record.
Sí, las expectativas son muy grandes, ¿no? Y más porque es lo que se ve, al final va de titular no porque por capricho del entrenador, va de titular porque le vemos capaz de marcar diferencias, es un jugador diferencial, es listo, elige bien y lo más importante en el fútbol, que la toma de decisión casi siempre es la correcta. Eso es lo más importante en un jugador de fútbol.
Title after title, praise after praise. At just 16 years and 68 days old, Lamine made his debut in the most important club competition in the world. It was against Antwerp at Montjuic, and that day he became the youngest Barca Academy product to play a European match for the club. He broke Ansu Fati's record. It seemed impossible. He made it look easy. Just a few days later, he broke another unimaginable mark. At the Estadio do Dragão against Porto, at 16 years and 83 days, Lamine became the youngest starter in Champions League history. He beat a record that had stood since 1994 when Celestine Babayaro debuted at 16 years and 86 days. No one had done it in 30 years. He did it by 3 days, 3 days that separated him from yet another impossible chapter in football history.
He's someone that you just need to let him go out and play football. He will always make a difference. When he's pressed, when he's not pressed, he always finds the right solution, even if it's an individual action or a 1-2 or the last ball or give continuity to the play. Whatever the game demands in that moment, he's capable of reading it and he's capable of understanding what it needs,
That same 2023, on October 28th, he added another milestone to his list. He became the youngest player to ever appear in an El Clásico between Barcelona and Real Madrid. At 16 years and 280 days old, he surpassed the mark held by Vicente Martinez for decades. He stepped into one of the most intense rivalries in world football and didn't look out of place, as if carrying the weight of the crest was already embedded in his DNA. But it didn't stop there. The records started piling up at an inhuman pace.
Where it gets us. I have to ask you about Lamine Yamal. We've kind of normalised the fact that there's this 17-year-old kid doing incredible things, but it's not normal what he's doing.
No, he's very talented. It's just natural talent. You see that he is a special player. Hopefully he can keep going like this, improve, because he's still very young. But he is already very, very important to us now.
He became the youngest player ever to provide an assist in the Champions League, the youngest goal scorer in the history of the Spanish Super Cup, the youngest to score in the Copa del Rey, the youngest player to score a brace in La Liga, and the youngest ever to play in a Champions League knockout round. He played alongside Pau Cubarsí, and together they became the first underage duo to start a Champions League match. He was also the youngest to play in a European quarter-final, the youngest to reach 50 official games with Barcelona, the youngest to both score and assist in a single Champions League game, and the first under-18 player to hit 20 European appearances. With all that, he became the youngest player ever to reach 100 matches for Barca, then the youngest scorer in a Champions League semi-final. And as if that weren't enough, also the youngest player to score a brace with the senior Spanish national team, all before turning 18. Lamine has outrageous talent, literally. The only reason he's bad in FIFA is because Pedri says so.
Todos sabemos que en el campo lo hace increíble, pero habrá en algo que sea malo. ¿En qué es malo Lamine Yamal?
Al FIFA.
Al FIFA, para empezar, es malo.
Sí, porque yo le gano, o sea, le puedo decir que es malo.
¿Y tú eras el malo de antes o qué?
No, yo... Siempre se me ha dado bien jugar al FIFA, pero bueno, al futbolín, por ejemplo, es buenísimo.
Ay, también es bueno eso.
Pero no regatea hasta en el futbolín.
¿En serio?
Y eso que los muñecos están quietos.
A kid who's already done more than most players achieve in an entire career. A name already mentioned in the same breath as Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, Nazario, Kaká, Figo, any legend you can name. Lamine Yamal is in that league, and yet there are still people out there trying to downplay his talent.
La gran pregunta es, ¿Lamine sería Lamine si estuviéramos en la generación que estuvimos? Mi sensación es que no estaría jugando. En el momento en que se cruzan ciertas líneas que se cruzaron durante una época y que lo sabemos todos, ahí es cuando yo ahí eso no lo comparto.
Sure, some might argue Lamine wouldn't get minutes in a Barca squad that had Messi, Eto'o, Henry, Pedro or David Villa, but at the very least he'd be competing at the same level as Bojan Krkić, because that's the kind of hype Bojan generated back in his day. But here's the reality. Lamine Yamal emerged during a crisis. The first team was leaning heavily on the academy for help. After Messi's departure, actually, even a few months before, we saw the debuts of Nico Gonzalez, Gavi, Ferran Jutgla, Ez Abdi, Oscar Mingueza, Ilaix Moriba, Riqui Puig, and Ansu Fati. Barca needed players, and Lamine stepped up to fill the void of a true difference maker. And that doesn't take away from the fact that he's currently one of the best players on the planet.
Tiene 17 años y yo sé cómo era mi cabeza con 17 años. Obviamente no estaba haciendo nada acerca de lo que hace él, pero es un niño, ¿sabes? Y bueno, intento cuidarlo lo mejor posible para que siga dando muchas alegrías a nuestra afición y siga haciendo cosas espectaculares en el campo. Pero el fútbol, la lástima del fútbol de hoy es que no es solo calidad, porque la calidad la tiene y no perderá esto nunca. Pero es un niño que trabaja mucho y es dedicado, entonces intento dar mi mejor como un hermano más grande e intento ayudarlo la mejor manera posible. Y bueno, dentro del campo él no necesita ayuda. Nosotros que necesitamos ayudarlo muchas veces, pero para mí es un niño espectacular y tiene todo para ser uno de los mejores jugadores de la historia del fútbol.
So what's next? Yes, it might look like he's playing at Messi's level, but he's still a kid. He has to keep working, keep training hard if he truly wants to surpass the greatest of all time. We're not saying he's better than Messi just because of what he's done at 17, but the fact that not even GOATs like Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo had this kind of output and impact at 17, that's what makes the world dream about Lamine Yamal.
And Messi, and is it possible to compare this age?
No, he's unbelievable. To compare with Messi, I don't want to do this because he's different and Messi was an unbelievable player over 10-15 years and this is the also must be the goal from Lamine that he also not 1, 2, 3 years more but he has this. I think he's right for that and he will do that.
Lamine Yamal is making the whole world dream. Even today's top players can't stop praising him. Haaland was stunned watching him play against Inter in the Champions League semi-final. Cole Palmer has also said it loud and clear.
We've got to talk about Lamine Yamal as well. How good is this guy at 17 years old?
Mad, isn't it? I think he's the best player in the world, to be honest.
Do you? Do you think, what, just from a technical standpoint?
Just everything. I feel like everything they do just goes through him and Just when you watch him, it's mad.
Yeah, there were some moments in that game, wasn't there? Like at 17 years old, to be saying, "Give me the ball, I'm just gonna go," like through 5 or 6 players. How hard is that to do against, you know, levels of defenders like Inter Milan at 17 years old?
I don't know, I've never tried it.
Lamine is a beast. Even Bukayo Saka has spoken about Lamine, and Saka is considered one of the best wingers in the world.
I've got to ask you about Lamine Yamal, man, because you play a similar sort of role to him, also a very young sort of star player. What do you make of Lamine?
Yeah, he's top, man. Honestly, he's doing what he's doing at his age, you know. What can you say, man? He's unreal.
How hard is it to do that at 17 on a stage like that as well?
It's not how hard, it's not normal. No one does it. I don't think I've seen that level of 17-year-old, so credit to him. Yeah, it was a good game, like I said.
In a world where a new prodigy seems to appear every week, where social media inflates names and magazine covers burn out talents before their time, Lamine Yamal has done something that once seemed impossible. He has stayed true to his football and conquered the world. What he generates isn't simple hype, it's real admiration, pure recognition, a reverent silence even among the greatest. Leo Messi, the best of all time, has publicly praised him. Cristiano Ronaldo, the eternal symbol of ambition and excellence, has also acknowledged his talent. World champion coaches, current stars, legends of the past, elite analysts and even direct rivals, they've all bowed before him. There's no debate, no discussion. When Lamine touches the ball, the world holds its breath for just a second longer. It's been a long time since football spoke like this about a player. It's been a long time since we've felt this mix of respect, hope and awe. What Lamine has achieved at just 17 years old can't be explained through stats or records. It's something you feel. You feel it in the way defenders back off when he charges forward. You feel it in the stadiums that rise to their feet with every dribble. You feel it in the faces of veterans who look at him as if they're seeing something they never thought they'd witness again. Lamine Yamal is not just a gem, he's a generational phenomenon. And the scariest part is that he's only just getting started.